Okay, I thought I would create a little video for this, just to help people get started with these decks. So, apologies for the unscripted nature of this, and there might also be some jump cuts and stuff because I might end up sort of tripping over what I'm saying. Basically, I've created some decks. I've created a shared deck for for the movie Tangled. Shared decks I usually don't really agree with using, but when it comes to the kind of media that you can create with like subs to SRS, which creates very high quality Anki cards, and you have the ability to watch the media that it's created from, I think shared decks like this are a really good idea. I've done this just to sort of take the hassle out of it for people if they're interested, and also I plan to make some more. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be making Anki decks and maybe transcripts and subtitle files for media, Russian media that doesn't have subtitle files already. It's not a free process, so we're going to be, I'm going to be putting in my own money to do this, but if anybody's interested, I'd really appreciate it if you sort of reached out and got in touch, because I personally don't think there's anywhere near enough media like with quality subtitles to be able to sort of do this kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going to be basically assuming that you know some of the basics of Anki and some of the basics of how this kind of situation works, but I will give some information. So everyone should know that Anki's an SRS system, basically, which shows you flashcards based upon when you're going to forget them. It's like an extremely efficient method for learning, and the method that is used on Refold is a mass immersion and sentence mining sort of method. I have ADHD and have found it extremely difficult to efficiently use Anki without it sort of like really making my life a nightmare. But I have recently started using this sentence mining method and using these kind of cards, and it's helping me a hell of a lot. So yeah, basically I've created these decks. I'll send the link for where you can get this. I've also just done a very quick and dirty transcript as well, just in case anybody wants to sentence mine without using any of the audio or snapshots. But yeah, basically this deck has audio and snapshots in there as well. So when you download the file and you've got Anki running, you will need a note type for this. The reason is because the subs to SRS creates the file in a certain way. You can actually check that if you open the deck file, and you can see. Let's see if I can do it. Well, we work with. Let's see if just Notepad. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Right, so you can see it's got the name, and then it's got like the timing. I think that's the timestamp. Then it's got the sound file, it's got the image, and then it's got the phrase. So that is the order in which you need to create the note type. If you just want to copy my one, that's fine, but you can also create your own. I've called them immersion cards. You can call them whatever you want. But if I just show you the fields here, we've got tag, sequence marker, audio clip, snapshot, sentence, definition, and notes. That's what I've got. I haven't actually used the notes on any of them yet. Definition will be empty because that's where you would fill that either with a monolingual or bilingual definition. There is a way to translate like every line that you can do with Google Docs, but I don't like doing that. There are some tutorials on the net which show you how to do that, but I'm going with the monolingual definitions at the moment. So this is the kind of note type you'll need in order to import these. Okay, So I'm going to save that. Oh, I can probably just show you. No, I won't show you the cards yet. Will I show you the cards? Yeah, I'll show you the cards, fine. So for the card types here, again, I've created, if you don't know how to do this, again, it's a little bit complicated. If you know any HTML or even a tiny basic amount of HTML, you will be fine with this. But if not, you just kind of need to copy this. So these are the curly brackets. You need to use that. If you've done it correctly, it will appear up here with the field name. So if I just type something in curly brackets here, it will say, it will say it's wrong. There's some problem with it. So if I was going to put the audio on the front, which I do not recommend doing, by the way, you should be able to see that. Oh, okay, maybe not. Where's my audio? Oh, audio clip. I've called it audio clip. That's why. So yeah, so if you look at the back, then this is the way I've got it set up. So I've got the snapshot, which is taken from the movie, which gives you a nice visual hint sometimes as to what's going on. We've got the sentence, which is the full Russian sentence, and then on the back we've got the audio clip, and then the definition. So that's how I've got my card types set up. I'm not an expert Anki user, so I don't think that will be included when you download the file. So you've got to be careful with that. So yeah. So I'm going to discard the changes because I don't want to save it. So basically, you import the file. You're going to be importing the this file here, which is the TSV file. Mine's just changed to a notepad thing now because it's going to be opening that forever. But yes, yours probably won't have a file type unless you already use these files. So yeah, you import this file here, and then all of this media that's in this here, you need to copy into the the Anki media file. I'm not going to do that because I already have the deck, but I have started working on my deck. So I don't really want to show you exactly. So I mean, basically, you go import file. You will find the file where it is. Is it here? Yeah. And then you will import that. This is saved somewhere else because I was creating the shared deck to share with everybody. So you'd import that, and then you need to copy the this information here into Anki's content sort of folder. The way you do that is you get to the app data folder, which you can do by percentage app data percentage, and then Anki, and then whatever your username is, and then collection media, and you copy all of that information into here. You can see it's like lots of screenshots and audio. So yeah. Once you've done that, then you've got the deck. So this is the bit. There are tutorials on how to do this, and you can look that up. If you just search like subs to SRS and things, you can make your own decks as well. That's absolutely fine. What I'm offering hopefully is going to be stuff where there isn't subs. So this is going to be very useful for people to have sub files and Anki decks. For Russian stuff, considering there is just such a small amount out there, and hopefully we'll be able to create high quality stuff for you. But yeah, it's not for profit. It's going to be, I just want the resources, and I also have a friend in Russia who I'm trying to help save up for school, so we thought it was a good opportunity to do something like that. So yeah, I'm going to go into some detail on how to use these because there is some information on the net as well that you can search. Brit versus Japan has some good videos on this, and there's a few others. I'm going to use my deck that's already here, and then I'll show you what I do, and I'll just go into a tiny bit more detail than the guys do on those other videos. So I'm going to open the deck. So basically, we don't really want anything to go into the learning or the review, because this is just going to be your deck that you use to sort of find cards and create cards. this is going to be starting partway through the movie. It's a long movie, it's a movie, so it will take quite a while to go through every single card. But the point is, and this is quite an important point really, is that you can review the cards in a way which is almost like watching the movie, and so it doesn't really feel like work. So it's quite good, but because it takes a little bit of time to do it, because it's a movie, it's a kind of a long process. But you can do a bit, and then you can come back later, and you can do another bit more and stuff like that. And then so the idea is you have a deck where you have the Anki deck saved, and then you move files into your sort of main deck once you've created the cards. So the cards exist, but you want to add definitions and things like that to them, and then you will go onto the other cards, into the other deck. So I'll quickly show you. So if we go study now, so it's got the screenshot, and it's got the title. Sorry, not the title. The phrase. You read this, but you don't have to spend time doing this. When you're not studying the cards at the moment. What we're doing is we're deciding on which cards we're keeping and which cards we're getting rid of. So I think I've got it set up so you can hear the audio, but if not, I apologize. So if you just press spacebar, it will play, and you've got the audio there. You'll notice there's nothing else on the answer side of this card. That's because no definition has been added. You decide whether you know all these words. I know all of those pretty much, but I don't really know the full meaning of the sentence, probably partly because I'm just doing this video. So there's two things that you should really do, because you want to prevent these from sort of going into some sort of learning situation. You're either going to delete the card, or you're going to suspend the card. I'm going to suspend this card, and just checking I'm on the right thing. To do that, you can press Shift at least that is how you do it on my version. Card suspended. So I think it's Shift and then apostrophe, which is at. So basically you're just typing at, and then again you would watch the next clip, press spacebar. So this is a good example of one I would delete because it's extremely obvious. So we go Control Delete, and then that card is deleted. And then we're going to suspend that card. And then we're going to delete this card. And I'm going to delete this card. Basically, only delete the cards where you know everything and you understand the sentence. Don't delete cards where where there's some stuff you don't know. The idea is that you have lots of cards then where you don't know all the words, and you've got a huge bank of cards at the end of it, which are useful for then you can sentence mine with those. So yeah. So if I come back out of this, so what we do then is we go into the browse section, and if I just make sure I've got the Tangled deck selected, you should be able to see any of the ones that have been suspended. There should be, these are the ones I did yesterday, so there's like a huge list here. And then what I would do really is I would just go through and I would read these, read the sentences and see if there's like any words that sort of jump out at me that I want to sort of learn. This is, I would keep in mind that this is a sort of a fantasy kind of movie, so there might be like fantasy dialogue in there, and fantasy vocab. I actually really am interested in learning that because I like that kind of genre and stuff, but if it's not for you, then don't worry. But the reason I made this is, well, for a start, there's already subtitles for this, and it's designed for kids and teenagers and adults as well, actually. I really like this movie. Anyway, I think it's hilarious, especially Maximus, who's one of the best animal sidekicks in anything. But yeah, so I would pick one that a word that I like. So, for example, this, and then I can then go and get the definition, which I won't do now. Just let's just say I'm adding in, like, this is the monolingual definition. So you add that in. Again, there's there's information on how to do that. That's a whole other topic, really. But you'd add your definition there, and then you can then change your deck and move it to your default deck, and then you go move cards. So then that is now then ready for you to start learning. So sorry for the long video, but that is basically the sort of the procedure. I think I've covered mostly everything. So yeah, and it's really great because you end up with tons of sentences. Not all of these are going to be I+1. Some of these will be harder, and it's better to just try and pick sentences where you only don't know one word. And it's best to also pick words that you think that you might have already seen a number of times. That's the standard advice. So yeah, and then you've always when you go back to your suspended cards, the more and more you learn Russian, some of these cards will necessarily get easier and easier, and then some of them will be ones that you'll want to delete. And oh yeah, there's one, for example. I don't need that. I know that one. So just delete it. Yeah, and then you've got like this massive sentence mining situation. Yeah, the reason this is really, really great is because you have such a lot of information from the context. You've got what's happening in the movie. I recommend watching the movie before you would use a deck like this. Watch it in Russian with the Russian subs, and then yeah, it helps such an enormous amount when you have all of that information at your disposal to remember words. And yeah, and so that's how it works. So yeah, thanks very much. I'll put the link to this under the video. Thanks then.